Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the first episode of, I think we're going to call it JDog Talks. I had about 30 seconds with our producer here. Gabe said, what do you want to name it? So it could change, but right now we're going with JDog Talks, or it could be Talk with JDog. I don't know. So this is the first episode. It's St. Patty's Day. Today is, what is it, the 17th? I think the 17th. Anybody? John, 17th?
17th.
Okay, it's the 17th. So this is the first episode. So bear with us, the first one. So we're going to be doing some editing and different things, I'm sure, along the way. And, just getting things right. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. So just a little introduction. So we have guests here. We have my friend Gary Sheldon. He's in Florida right now. He's going to be, we wanted to try out the technical stuff, so we have him here. He's going to be on other shows helping with statistics and breakdowns of sports and things like that, helping with that. And we have Gabe Williams. He's our producer, so he's been doing an incredible job. We have my friend John Gannon, too, here, special guest. So again, thank you for, again, being here. And also, let's see, my next little bullet point. So what do I want to talk about here? So a little bit about how I met my friend John. It's been, I'm trying to think, I think 30 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, like 30 years. I was working at a home called Human Achievement Project. It was a group home. And I was there as a counselor, and John was talking about benefits and different things for the group. And he talked for a while, and then basically afterwards, he said his name a few times. So I came up to him, asked him, I said, it's Gannon. I said, are you related to Rich Gannon, the professional NFL football player? And he said, yeah, that's my brother. So that's how we basically met and been friends ever since. He helped me with all my financial stuff and different things. So it's been great. So basically that's our team and guests right now. And I just wanted to bring him on and just ask him about just his childhood growing up and his life, and obviously how he was influential as a big brother, helping his brother get into the NFL. And we're going to talk a little bit about his that, and then also his ministry that he's going to be starting up too. We'll probably have John on again, just helping people with benefits and financial things. Also, I think we're going to work in May. I think, John, you said you're going to try to help get your brother on, and we'll have him as a special guest. Also, and more guests and more educating segments and stuff. So, but anyway, we'll keep moving. So, John, if you don't mind, if you can just tell us a little bit, just about you, and then your childhood, just growing up. I know you're local.
Yeah, Philly. I'm a Philly guy.
Yeah.
Fox Chase, for those of you who are familiar. Yeah, and I'm one of 6 children. My mom and dad raised us in our beautiful home right in Fox Chase, and they were big sports fans. Believe it or not, my father. I didn't ever told you this, Jared. He went to LaSalle College High School before he was, I believe, asked to leave because of disciplinary issues. But he was a quarterback on the freshman team, so there was some good genes in there for Richie, maybe not me, but my brother. But then I have 4 younger brothers, an older sister who's deceased, and my mom and papa passed.
Right.
But we kind of grew up and with a big field across from our house, and it was great because mom could just, you're there till dinner almost. Yeah, we were always playing something. But football was always big because my uncles loved it, my dad loved it. We used to watch Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders, and George Blanda was my father's age. My dad was born in 27, but Blanda was 43 years old or so, kicking field goals last minute, and my father, he's my age, So he kind of really loved George Blanda,
Right.
Roger Staubach and all these. So and Richie became a big fan as a very little tyke of Joe Namath.
Oh wow.
There's a great little story about how he ended up getting in touch with Joe and signing each other's Jets helmets.
He met Joe Namath?
Well, yeah, several
did
times.
You?
I never have. No,
Okay.
I never met
That's
Joe.
awesome.
But we have a great little picture near the Christmas tree. Somehow there was an FAO Schwartz catalog, which I don't know how we would ever afford that kind of stuff after Christmas. But there's a picture of my brother in his Joe Namath jersey at 6 years old, number 12 with his Jets. So it's kind of neat that he sent that to Joe, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was really just great that they got to know each other as quarterbacks, as NFL Pro Bowl quarterbacks, you know.
Yeah.
But we grew up, and he was 6 years younger than me, my brother Rich, and all my brothers were sports guys. My sister played sports, field hockey, and all that. But all my brothers played football at some point.
Right.
But I ended up going to St. Joe's Prep back when they weren't a football powerhouse.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
And Richie ended up going to St. Joe's Prep as well.
Okay.
I ended up going to Delaware, the Fighting Blue Hens, go Blue Hens. And, Rich got kind of caught. I kind of like to think I was a little bit of a mentor towards him, helping him out a little bit when he was a younger fella. Of course, a big brother, you better do that.
Yeah.
But his athletic ability was on his own. I mean, he was playing in tennis and basketball. I think he joined a junior tennis league one summer, and I think he ended up winning it for the 14-year-olds or whatever.
Oh, wow.
He was so I did all my best to play in one sport, but he was pretty talented otherwise. Right. So his talent got him to the point where he was most valuable player as a senior in the Catholic League of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And for some reason, he was kind of overlooked by the bigger schools.
Right.
And the smaller schools, I guess, thought, oh, he's going to go to Virginia or Penn State or somewhere like that. But so I was at Delaware as going into my senior year, so it would be the spring before spring camp, fall football camp, and I got a call from him, and he said, John, I'm not getting any calls from any early colleges. Do you think Delaware would have me? I said, I don't know why anybody didn't think, but I said, I think, of course. So I went out the next day and told the coaches, I said, listen, if you want my brother, you need to go up there. And they did. They said, well, tomorrow night we'll go up and sign him. So he ended up being a Delaware Blue Hen. Right. And I got to be a senior when he was a freshman. Don't ask me how that happened. I went to a Naval Academy prep program for a year. But anyway, that's kind of how a guy can get overlooked. And the smaller schools thinks he's going there. And Penn State didn't really bite or anything like that. So he ended up rewriting a lot of the records at Delaware and having a great career there. And then, of course, then another kind of tough time in his career was, I should say, in the draft. He was drafted by the New England Patriots, and evidently there's
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's supposed to be an unwritten the New England Patriots as a wide receiver.
Oh, wow.
And supposedly the Minnesota Vikings, after my brother was picked, they called him on the phone just to congratulate him and say, hey, sorry we didn't get you. You were our next pick.
Wow. What year was that,
So that would have been 1987.
87. So was Brady, he was coming later, Gary, do you know?
I think Brady might have not been in the league.
Brady was later.
Yeah,
okay.
Later, yeah.
Okay.
But who was the coach then of, was that, what's his name? It wasn't Belichick. It was the other guy before him. What's his name? So maybe he might have been. Yeah.
But anyway, good point. And so it's funny, they called him, and Rich was kind of aware enough and I guess forward enough to say, hey, can't we work some kind of deal out here? And evidently there's supposed to be some sort of unwritten understanding that if you're going to draft a player for a position other than that he played, you're supposed to sort of have a conversation about it and have some sort of understanding that that's what we're drafting you for.
Yeah.
So despite my father saying, don't buck the system, you're going to get blackballed, he ended up asking the Vikings, hey, can we make a deal or a trade or something like that day or a day later? And they asked him if he had representation, and through a friend of his, a guy who was former Eagles ticket office, head of the ticket office, a guy named Leo Carlin. His son played at the Prep with Rich, and Clayton Carlin, who coaches at Sam Houston State now, and another one of Rich's buddies, Mr. Knowles, who is now the defensive coordinator for Penn State, former Ohio State. But he's had a lot of friends, but he needed his friendship with Leo Carlin, the ticket master, the head of tickets at the Eagles. Said, listen, he made a call to Leo, and he said, listen, we can get you in touch with this guy named Bucko Kilroy, okay, who was more 60s, 70s Eagles scout and player personnel, and made it. And I believe he kind of hooked him up with some management and got on the phone, and somehow they got this deal worked out so that he became a Viking. Right. But it just shows you some things don't always just get put in your lap. Yeah. So a couple of things had to happen there, Yeah, no, it's interesting. But so and I got to play at Delaware and enjoyed that, and then got to enjoy my brother playing at Delaware too. So it was really a very nice. In fact, if you might have to sit through this, but we have a clip. Just those that look at me right,
There's
now,
our
and say,
producer, Gabe.
"How could you at 185? Weren't you the water boy?" And I said, "No, I was 230 pounds when I played."
I know. I was just gonna say. I know you told me 230. That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
That And how tall are you?
Well, I shrank an inch or two, but I was like 6'1".
Okay, you were 6'1" then?
I was 6'1" then. Okay. I think I'm a little under 6 foot now as we get older. But I was 230 pounds.
And then you were a linebacker?
I was a linebacker first 2 years. They moved me to defensive end my junior and senior year.
So don't you have to be bigger for defensive end?
Well, we were the biggest they had at the time. I mean, our linebackers were like, 200, 210, and I was 230. So they thought, let's use this guy as a defensive end.
So you're like Brandon Graham, I guess, a little bit.
A little bit. That's who I liked. And he was 55 as well, wasn't he, Brandon?
He was 55.
Yeah,
he was 55.
See, I kind of
That's right. There you go.
Kind of like
Barry, come on, man. You're supposed to be like, that's Brandon Graham's. Yeah. That's where you come in, man. Help me out. And I just wanted to cut you off one split second, too. So we have breaking news. It's very important that Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown was he's now an Eagle. So I just wanted to let everybody know exciting news. So we got Howie's on the move. So we need to keep it going, and we need AJ to be traded so the saga stops there. So, but anyway, getting back there, we have a segment of John. Do you want to set it up?
If you can bear it. I guess we're playing Temple my senior year.
1922.
1983 Temple. If you look to your lower part of your screen, you'll see a guy number 55. Yes, that was me. Nice. I guess I was 230. I think the guy I'm going against was like 260 or so. Wow. But it was good. But it's just one play. But it's you got to sack the quarterback. Yay.
This is I definitely want to show this.
Roll the big tape, right? We could just to verify that this actually did happen.
There he's coming. He's coming. 55. There it is. John Gannon there.
Nice.
See, you stopped the major run right there because he was ready to keep going.
He had some room, I think, But it just goes to show you if you stay after it. But I think it shows you here like you're getting blocked. But you get off the block and make a diving tackle. That's all.
That's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
So it did happen, folks.
Yeah.
But that's enough of that. You're making me blush.
That's a great clip.
But anyway. But so we have that, and then of course Rich.
And I wanted to also interject a second. Yeah, so we have obviously his brother is famous, obviously too. And we want to run a clip.
I got a famous brother.
Famous brother, and
17 years.
17 years and 17 years in
the NFL.
Okay,
He was a Viking. He was a a Redskin for a year, a Chief for like 3.5 or 4 years there, and then it finally landed with the Raiders.
That's what I have. Kansas City.
The Raiders.
And Redskins, I have a couple stats of your brother. He threw for 29,000, just under 29,000 yards, 180 TDs. Obviously, he went to St. Joe's Prep for high school. Was in the NFL from 1987 to 2004. Drafted in 1987. Round number 4 was number 98. He had 21 rushing touchdowns, your brother. Yeah, so that's some stuff, but there's some highlights of your brother.
Was John Madden the coach, John?
John Gruden.
Oh, Gruden was, okay.
Johnny Gruden, yeah.
So this game here is against, what, the Jets here?
That's the Jets. I think that might be the AFC championship game.
Okay.
I think. He got it done.
Yeah.
Yes, he'll be the first to say he had some great receivers in Tim Brown and Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
And Wheatley and Porter and a former Eagle. Can anyone think of the Eagle out of the backfield, number 25?
Charlie Gardner.
Garner.
Yes.
Charlie Garner. A lot of big plays from Charlie Garner. We might even see one here.
Yeah.
No, that's Dudley, Ricky Dudley. But Charlie Garner, and this is Wheatley, out of Michigan.
Okay.
And he could put his head down. I know he hit Charlie Garner many a little.
Yeah, you'll see it.
All-purpose back. That he could.
Tim Brown was his number one.
Yeah. Yep. And they're
right.
Yep.
Love Tim Brown.
Right. I know he's.
Yeah, he'll be coming.
He hits Charlie Garner a number of times with some good stuff. Usually some short clips out of the backfield.
Yeah.
But
there's one of his rushing ones right here.
Yeah,
probably.
He could.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that mobile, but
he could scoot.
Yeah.
That's from running away from his big brother when he got
with the bat he had.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, this is a true story. When he was a little guy, he asked could he play with the big fellas because he was only like 10 years old when we were, 15, 16, and we let him play, and he ran for his life, seriously.
Yeah.
I think it helped him with his scrambling,
Yeah.
So, he was usually playing with the big guys, so I think it helped.
So we're working on that. Like I said, John's going to try to get us set up with, Rich at some
There's
point.
Charlie.
There's Charlie.
No, that's
no.
That's not Charlie.
No,
that was. I'm getting old here.
Yeah,
Here's Wheatley turning around, making a play on the ball. Yeah, but Garner has so many. I watched this highlight a number of times, and Charlie Garner has so many.
No, Charlie Garner is incredible. And just
so many big
when you
plays.
see him, let us know. And also, another quick story for me. So John was so kind enough to help me, like you've always done. And the other thing is, we're all this here, as we're talking and doing this podcast, it's no coincidence. God had a plan that we would be here, and just having some fun and talking about sports and talking about God and what He's done in our lives and how we live. There's no coincidence. This happened for a reason. Everything. But my son and daughter, Alexis and Dominic, both of them. Well, my son Dominic was an apprentice on the Eagles. And he was trying to get a job with the Eagles. So John had him talk to his brother, and Rich was so kind enough to write a beautiful letter of recommendation for my son. And then he's been trying to continue to work at getting a job with the Eagles, but no success yet. And also my daughter Alexis was in recruiting for Liberty University, and she loves sports, and so she talked to your brother, Rich, on the phone.
He gives back a lot.
And she was able to talk to him, and he wrote a letter of recommendation also, and was trying to get them both jobs. So, but it's up to God. But anyway, so that's just a quick story of how awesome your brother is and you for setting all that up.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
for them and another
Right.
story. But yeah, so we're looking forward. Like I said, hopefully you can make that happen.
Yeah.
You know, that your brother and I heard about. I still don't even have a picture of him too. I got to get a signed picture from your brother. I got to get that. Yeah.
We could arrange.
Yeah. I don't even have. I got other people, but I don't have that on my walls here. So definitely love to meet him and we'll talk about another segment. But
you're talking about the Lord working in funny ways. You know, I kind of mentioned that. You know, I like to think as a big brother. You know, I got a signed ball from my brother saying thanks for being a big brother.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome.
Against Buffalo.
That's cool,
in
man.
Buffalo. But anyway, I could tell. I think I told you the story, but St. Joe's Prep. Again, we were playing when they weren't quite the powerhouse they are now, and so I got invited to come down. Actually, not invited. I heard that my brother was being invited to come back to the St. Joe's Prep. They're going to retire his jersey, and he was going to be speaking to the student body. And so I said, I got to go down. I'm in Philly, so I go down and, here's the whole student body's there. And of course, Rich and these kids are wide eyed. They knew who he was. He had been in the NFL for a while. And
where was this at? I'm sorry.
This is down at St. Joseph's
St.
Prep.
Okay, yeah.
17th and Styles.
Okay.
And so I went down and I thought I'll just hang out and, with him a little bit after or whatever. And so I sat in there, and I was very impressed with what my brother had to say to the students. And it was that, I had everything. I've been in the NFL, I had money, could buy a house and cars, and had a lovely woman in my life. But he said, there's something that was missing.
Yeah, void.
And he had talked about how he had met on another speaking engagement, a Vietnam vet, I believe, who had lost his legs. He was in a wheelchair. And but he was so full of joy and happiness and peace and just so overflowing. And Rich said, I want what you have. And I think my brother's Christianity and his faith has always been really strong. And I think the NFL, they had a lot of Bible studies and all this, and he stayed with it that way. But I think this one person that he gave the example to these students to say that this man had gone through a time in his life where he probably just was ready to give up. And right. He is now one of the most joyous people. And Richard said, what is it? What do you have that I need?
Right.
And the guy said, it's a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So, And so you can imagine, even as brothers, you don't always talk about your faith, and probably we didn't as much as we do now.
Right.
But back then, it's still kind of like, it seems too personal or whatever, but it's not.
Yeah.
But back then, and I remember sitting there thinking, I go to church, I receive sacrament, I didn't rob a bank, I guess I'm and I realized, like my brother was saying, even for me, so there's my little brother helping me to come to Christ, more personally, to fully accept him as my Lord and Savior. You used to hear people say, I thank my Lord and Savior, athletes and everything else.
Right.
I never fully got it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great to hear, but to fully surrender. And so there was that. And shortly thereafter, I was out at a dance for Jerry Blavitt's. He'd have the bandstand dancers came to town. And I said, let me go talk to some of these people who were on the cover of Team magazine with Elvis and such.
Right.
And there was a nice couple. The one gal, you'd have to go back to 1957, 58 to see her dancing on bandstand, but it's on TV.
Oh, wow.
Carol Scaldaferri was her name. I never forget her. But I said, I'd love to talk to you more. She said, why don't you come, we're going to grab a bite after this, but first we're going to church. Why don't you jump in our van? We'll go to church. I thought, well, that's no big deal. I've been to church. That's fine. I love it. Little did I know, we went over to Ben Franklin Bridge and into Jersey and into a place called Harvest Ministries Church. And who knew? At the end of it, the pastor said, is there anyone here who thinks it's time for them to publicly declare that Jesus is your Lord and Savior? And I kind of went, like this, and I couldn't help it. I said, it's time.
Yeah.
And so
And
like I
so
said,
what year was that?
so, well, we're talking about, I was
how
about
old were you?
42,
Okay,
43 years old,
so you came to know the Lord then.
Well, and
A little older then, obviously.
I would say I entered into a more surrendered relationship and a personal relationship with Jesus Christ at that point.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Where, I always was a believer. And I hear people say, well, I'm a believer. And I said, well, that's great. Believe it or not, Satan's a believer, right?
Yeah.
He believes in Jesus Christ. But are you a follower?
Yeah.
So I said, that's when I became a follower.
Yeah.
So I like to think that I'm a follower. And, but so there you go. So Bandstand and Philly and Jerry Blavitt and Rich Gannon and all these different influences in your life that come together, and sometimes God works in funny ways.
1 second, John. So Gabe, he's somewhere. Can you cut him out until he comes back? Where are you at,
There
Gary?
he is.
You coming back or what?
There's Gary.
Yeah, I was calling man.
Oh gosh.
See, it's real. This is real.
How it is. Like I said, we're working out, having some fun.
This is real.
Everything. Yeah, we got.
That's why we know it's real.
We have him here again to try to work out the technical stuff, so we're all new at this. But yeah, I was wondering if you were going to go cook a meal or what during that. Yeah, it's all good. So you're back. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you good? All right, good. Sorry about that. I just didn't know what we should do.
No.
I'm not, but yeah, so sorry about that.
No, but I was, I think we covered that because I just wanted to share that because,
for sure.
Families are sometimes our very families are the ones we need to speak to or open up to, and sometimes we can talk to a stranger more than our own brother sometimes. You know?
Do you have any funny stories of you and your brother, childhood stories or anything? Anything that comes up
that I can tell.
Yeah.
There's some funny story. I'll tell you this one real. I think it's kind of funny. When my father was away at work, we would, in the summertime, we'd push his Mustang out of the driveway and on Central Avenue there. And to work out, to get our legs going, we'd have 2 or 3 guys pushing on the bumper of the car, like down the street, back and forth down the street. So the neighbors were like, "What? They got something wrong with the car? We're out, we're working out,
Right.
There was a time even when young Rich learned to drive. I was actually there. He was only I think 12 at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we actually were camping up in the mountains, and my father fell asleep by the fire, and we kind of snuck the Mustang out on the country roads there at 10 o'clock at night, and he insisted he gets a turn too. And we're like, and we let him at 12 years old.
That's what you did back then.
And he has that car today. He had it restored for
What kind of car?
The 1968 Mustang. It was.
Wow.
I think my
father was 40 years old. Yes, he was born in 27. So he was about 40 years old. And I think it was somewhat of a midlife crisis purchase. Yeah. But, the funny story was he had 6 kids, and we'd go to church, and it looked like the clown car, at the circus, where Rich would sit on the hump, because he didn't get a seat. But the gear shift there, he'd sit on the hump, and, but, I think my dad thought it was pretty cute.
So it was automatic?
4 kids in the back, 1 on the hump.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah, automatic. But,
okay.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So it was just a little 6-cylinder deal, but it was a good little memory. That's a funny
that's
story.
Good. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, anything share. That's cool. So,
yeah.
Anything else? If not,
his foray into borrowing the car did not end there. He actually dated a gal from Monsignor Bonner High School. If anyone knows, in Philadelphia, the Prep and Bonner is a pretty big rivalry.
Right.
Delaware County, and his girlfriend at the time was a cheerleader for Bonner. Went to Archbishop Prendergast.
Okay.
And I think he decided one day he needed to visit her in the summer while Mom was away and Dad was at work. And unfortunately, he kind of got caught on the way home. Kind of got caught pulling into the driveway. So. Oh. His punishment was he had to get up on the ladder and paint the eaves up in the house.
He got caught by your parents.
He got caught,
okay.
He did pay the price for that. So he has his, it's a true story that he did have a few car thefts in his younger days. So.
Oh, did he really?
Well, just the family car, you know.
He
borrowed it.
We got to edit that out.
He just borrowed it.
Everyone's
but
done that,
he was accountable and he paid the price.
Yeah.
And all parents should be expect that out of their children.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was only 16 and he figured I'll drive out from Fox Chase. It was probably a good 45-minute ride out to Delaware County.
Yeah.
But see, had we not taught him when he was 12 how to drive up in the mountains, he wouldn't have been so prepared for that.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah, no, that's a great story. And I have a quick story too. I remember when he was in a Super Bowl, and things happened, and unfortunately he lost. And you had called me up, and you were like, Jerry, be ready, because if they win the Super Bowl, we're going to have a big party back here in Philadelphia, and anybody and everybody anybody in Philadelphia is going to be there, and I definitely want you to be there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I started praying, please, Lord. Then I win the Super Bowl so we can win the Super Bowl, but I'm thinking I already had plans to pass it out in my card for my business and all
I'll tell you
other stuff. And I was like, oh, what in the world happened? But I was excited to meet him and all that, and then it never happened. But I really wanted him to win because he had such an incredible comeback.
Well, that was his,
You know, I mean, he just came, because I know he had injuries, but he came back so incredible. I think he threw I thought it was 4,000 yards or something like that year of the Super Bowl.
He was MVP that year.
Oh, so he was MVP?
That was
okay.
2002. So the actual Super Bowl was in 2003.
And Chucky was his coach then, right?
Who had gone to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So he ended up facing his coach.
So wait, so he wasn't his coach then during that Super Bowl.
No,
he faced him.
He faced him the following year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Okay.
So the story that's not so funny, but it is a story about that Super Bowl. You know, I was out there in San Diego, and my mom and sister stayed in the hotel, the same one as the players, and I called over there to say, hey, you guys ready? Tomorrow we have a big tailgate. You know, the Raiders were favored, right? So we're playing in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I called to my sister. I said, get ready. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a tailgate. We're gonna, before the game. Of course, it's a later game in the West Coast there. And she said, John, we got trouble over here. I said, trouble? What are you talking about? She said, I've never seen so many big guys walking around like zombies. Something bad happened.
Yeah.
I said, what bad happened?
Yeah.
She said, the center, Barrett Robbins, has been missing since the morning workout.
Remember that.
So it was I don't want to get too big into it, but their all-pro center, Barrett Robbins, was missing. The guy who called all the blocking assignment adjustments and all that was missing from the Super Bowl. Adam True, who I don't think played a snap all year, was mostly punt snaps, and, he ended up being so things started to go downhill. I hate to say it, even before the Super Bowl. So it wasn't their best showing, but
do you remember I can't remember what the final score was.
I don't even think about it. I blocked it out. I blocked it out.
I'm sure.
They were in it up until halftime or third quarter, but then things went south pretty bad.
But once you lose your center, everything is to play calling.
Yeah.
And all that. Yeah, it's horrible because like you said, they were favored, and I was so looking forward to seeing him.
You and me both.
And having that call to come and congratulate him and celebrate with him. But and then I'm trying to think. So after that, then where did he go after that? Then?
So when he did play, he was on the roster for another year, but then he retired. He had a neck injury. He actually was playing in a preseason game against who? Tampa Bay.
Really?
And their linebacker, who was the tough linebacker for Tampa Bay back then? I forget his name.
Gary.
Gary, can you think of Tampa Bay?
Well, you had who's the big boy? You had Sapp. Warren Sapp, but I don't know if he wasn't a linebacker. He was.
He wasn't a linebacker.
A linebacker. He was a really good linebacker. But anyway, the Raiders were trying to, I think, make a little statement. You guys beat us in the Super Bowl, but we're going to beat you in preseason here.
Was it Brooks?
Brooks.
Okay.
I believe it was
Derek Brooks.
Derek Brooks. Correct. Very good, Jared.
That's why I have him on the
Gary,
show.
Very good, Gary. But it was Derek Brooks. But Richie, it was, I forget if it was the first half, second half, but he was going for that extra yard to get. It was 3rd and 2, and kind of went. I don't know if it was a broken play or whatever, but he went for that extra yard, put his head down. Well, so did Derek Brooks, and so he had a spinal injury.
Your brother.
Yeah, and
I didn't even know that.
That pretty much marked. I think they said, geez, if the crack in your vertebrae had been, a quarter-inch little, you might be in a wheelchair.
Really?
Yeah. So I think after 17 years, you pretty much say, hey, I did pretty well here, and I think it may be time. So that was his last. But then he ended up being, I think at least 15 years with CBS, doing analyst for CBS after that.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Got to do that, and so he had quite, and he still stays active and does some different shows and with CBS and some content. And many of you saw the Super Bowl. We're running into John Gruden down in San Francisco.
Yeah, I know. We're going to play a clip of that. Yeah, we're going to play a clip of that when we. Well, maybe Gabe, maybe you can do it. Can you pull up? John Gruden and sees.
If you put John Gruden, Rich Gannon.
It just happened. So I can play it again when he's on. But it was just a cool clip.
Yeah, it was a fun clip.
Yeah, because I'm friends with John Gannon on John Gruden. There's a lot of Johns going on. John Gruden, Chucky. I'll just call him Chucky. I'm friends with him on Facebook. As he doesn't know me, but I see his stuff.
Yeah,
that was an incredible clip.
Yeah. John Gruden, Rich Gannon, Gruden, and
you'd show that clip and it'd be cool.
It's pretty fun. But they.
And you're
you may have to bleep out one of the words in it.
Yeah.
I think there's a one.
Yeah, we'll get. Gabe could edit it out.
That one word.
Yeah, sure.
That's a good clip. For sure.
Tell me if you can find it, Gabe.
No, it's a
John Gruden.
It's like 2 minutes.
In New Jersey.
If you put Gruden, Gannon, Super Bowl.
John Gruden. Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, it was.
It was in L.A.
It was.
Oh, was that where? Oh, was L.A.? Okay, I couldn't remember where it was.
In San Francisco. Yeah.
It's a clip of him.
It was in San Francisco.
San Francisco. Yeah. I could probably look at my phone and tell you which one it is.
Yeah. No, this is just a clip
of him walking down the street.
Walking down the street, and he sees John Gruden sees Rich Gannon on the street. So if you can just pull up, John Gruden sees Rich Gannon on the street in L.A. You said?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. It's like a 2 minute clip. It just happened in 2026.
Yeah.
You'll see it. I can tell you what it starts with.
I have it too, but it should be.
It looks like this.
You got it?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Real by John Gruden. Yeah.
Yep.
REEL. Yeah,
Okay.
That's it.
There he goes.
It's kind of fun.
You can always bookmark that and save it because, like I said, I'm going to play that if we talk to your brother. Just maybe ask him something about that. Like if it was staged, we actually did.
No, they actually.
They did. So you know. Oh, you did. Okay,
heard somebody yell across the street. You could always play like
you can play the whole thing, Gabe, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Can we see it or no? Yep. Sorry.
Hey, I'm walking down San Francisco. I'm here for the Super Bowl, and I run into this guy. The last time I saw Rich Gannon, we were fighting on the sideline. How the hell are you?
I'm walking down the street. I'm minding my own business. I'm getting ready to go back to my hotel, and some guy's yelling at me. I think, oh, my gosh. Yeah. Somebody wants an autograph. More importantly, I'm in the Bay Area. Somebody's going to yell at me, go, the Raiders suck.
I'm going.
So I turn around. He says, chuck the ball down. Throw it. I know that voice.
Hey, we're going to the Oakland Coliseum. We're going to go revisit some of our greatest memories.
Dude, that place is special.
That was, wasn't it?
I love the place so much. The only thing that I get some chills sometimes is when I'm out there, Blue 85! Blue 85! And he's always like, no! Get the team in the
no! Playing Tennessee on Monday Night Football. He's going, easy. Hey, 98 Bunch Crunch. He goes, shut the fuck up, Blue 85!
Yeah, we'll let it.
He goes,
yeah, what?
Yes, see you guys.
Yeah. What was your snap count? Let's hear it.
I had a good one, bro.
Let me hear it.
Set. Blue 85. Blue 85 to hot.
Love you, Gannon. See you, man.
I'll text you. Okay.
Oh, that's a great.
Yeah,
great
that's they
clip.
totally just ran into each other.
Yeah, no, that's just cool. I saw that.
Hey, John, why does he have more hair than you?
Well, I could tell you, but I don't know if it's suitable for family entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Well,
funny.
no, I used to. Yeah. He does have it. I think we're all starting.
He
to
did
look-
have
even-
more
even
hair.
him
I
a
didn't even.
little
That's a
bit.
good.
Very pretty. He's got very pretty light hair there. Yes,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does,
he
yes.
does.
He's not follically challenged like some of us. You know.
Follically challenged. That's great. Yeah, and that was a great clip of your
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it's
just
fun.
yeah.
Fun.
And so, how old is your brother then?
So he's 60. I'm 66.
So
he's
he's
6 years
yeah.
younger.
So, okay,
so he's 60 now.
Yeah, he's a year older than me. Okay.
So yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
We're getting better, Jared. Not older. We're getting
Yeah,
better.
no, yeah, we're getting exactly smarter, wiser.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
That's how it is. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah, well, like I said, look at my little cue card here. So, is there
Yeah.
anything else that
Yeah.
I know? We can always talk about your brother, you know, obviously, and other segments. But I guess anything else that you want to, you know, talk about?
Yeah.
Anything else? If not,
Nah,
you know, feel free.
You can always edit this out if you want. No, but no, but we talked a little bit about, you know, ministry, what we try to do in the world, and
yes,
you know, I'm so grateful for my, you know, roots, my Catholic faith, and all that. But I see myself as a Christian first,
Right.
more than a
Yeah.
Republican or Democrat or
Right.
or even an American. You're a Christian, and
Yeah.
I just prayed a lot and asked, dear Lord, you know, you've given me certain gifts or whatever, and help me to use them. And so I've been trying to do a little bit, and I you know, do some speaking at church and trying to do a church plant down in Florida,
right.
and you know, try to do a little bit of that. And I'm also going to try to write a book. I'm a
That's
journalism
awesome, man.
major, believe it or not. That's one of my bucket lists.
Yeah, man.
Get this book done about.
What's it going to be about?
Well, it's going to be about you're literally what's your life really all about? What's your purpose really all
Okay.
about? You know, so many of us
Okay.
have all these dreams. You got to go here and be this and do that, but I think as you get a little older and wiser, you find out that if you're close to the Lord, that you know you're trying to live your life as if people are. We're supposed to be conforming to Jesus, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm not saying we're anywhere close yet, but we're trying. And you know, they say that when people encounter you, it's supposed to be like an encounter with Jesus Christ. That's what we're shooting for, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I'm doing little things. I'd like to start I think if I can get Gabe to help me, maybe we'll do a Facebook group. I'm into old cars and race cars and stuff like that a little
Yes,
bit. So
that's awesome.
I've been putting Good News Garage
Nice.
on my car. Yeah, I put a little cross with a checkered flag and Good News Garage, and I go to racetracks, and it often brings up a conversation. We do old dirt track exhibitions sort of thing, and usually gets a conversation going with a lot of people. But I'll tell this one.
And
yeah.
1 second, I wanted to also, because the one thing that was cool that I saw when you sent the clip to me was the license plate on the one car. So when somebody's in back here, what does it say? Follow him.
Follow him.
Follow him.
Yeah, the back of the race car.
The back of the race
him.
car says. So I think that's
So the problem with that is I got to stay out in front of the traffic, and I got to be out in front
Yeah.
so they can read
Yeah,
me. You know?
yeah. That's exactly.
But
I love
anyway,
my listen. Yeah,
well,
sorry.
and I just tell this little story because
Go ahead.
you don't know who we're going to touch. We talked to your daughter a little bit about
Yeah.
working with children, and I think of my coaches, how they influenced me just in little ways you'll never know how you can touch someone. And I usually come back from the racetrack with a couple stories of people that I met, and we shared our faith or our walk or what have you. But this one time I did, and it wasn't a very well attended event, and I was packed up my car, put it on the trailer. I was sitting there having a beer. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Have a beer and just chill out and relax. Everybody was gone, and I thought, I didn't get to talk to anybody about the Lord today.
Yeah.
But oh well. And all of a sudden, this guy, I mean, he's literally the only guy that left at the speedway. Mm-hmm. And he comes walking up to the car, and he kind of like starts looking underneath of it. And I thought, he's a motorhead like me, but he's probably more interested in the car, the mechanics, or what kind of rear does it have, what kind of motor.
Yeah.
And so I just said hi and this and that, and I really didn't think much of it, and I thought he was going to walk away. But then he said, "Can I ask you a question? What's the good news? What's with the good news garage thing? What is with that?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, do you know what the good news is?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's about, you know." And we got talking a little bit, and he started to say, he said, we ended up talking for 45 minutes. He started telling me about how his children, who, he had raised them, and they're off to college and everything, and he really is, stopped going to church, and he really wasn't a leader in his family. I said, "It's not too late, And he said, "I'm going to do it." He said, "I knew I was supposed to run into you today." And I'm just saying, not that I was anything special, but bringing it up and getting people to talk about where they're at and maybe just encouraging them. And so I told my wife, I said, "You wouldn't believe this. There's one guy left." And he comes over to the car. We have a 45-minute talk, and he's like motivated. He's like,
Right.
"I want to go talk to my children, my adult children, about, where they stand with the Lord, and maybe be more of a leader, a faith leader in my family." So just you never know how you touch people.
Right.
So, and the only other thing I thought to tell you, we wear Eagles shirts. We wear, all these different shirts with what is it, Abercrombie and Fitch, or with all this stuff on us, right? But we're Christians, and the number one thing we follow is, why can't we just maybe once in a while put something on our, that starts up a conversation, or that maybe people can find fellowship. Yes. Where you can start a conversation. So I say maybe as we get older, we're getting a little more bold, and maybe our world needs to right now is to speak up for the Lord.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, no, that's
Yep.
great. That's great stuff. So so your ministry basically is going to be called the Good News Garage.
Good News Garage. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and then Gabe's going to help you, and you're going to get that started so people can go there. And
on a Facebook page. Probably.
So, and you were telling me basically it was going to be people that can go on there and just see some good quotes and
encourage each other, and maybe have a Bible verse a day, and just have some feedback, or to pray about somebody's going through some tough times. Yeah, you could talk about cars and stuff too, but to also
good stuff,
but you're with people that kind of have something in common, or maybe have an interest in learning more about the Lord, or So that's what I'm hoping. That's what the Lord,
like guys, everybody.
Yeah, guys, gals, anybody, all over the world, maybe. Hopefully.
So so that's exciting.
Yeah, I prayed about it a little bit, and I feel like it's something that I need to do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I'm looking forward to
it's
that.
Awesome stuff.
And, once you get Gabe or whoever, then we'll you can talk about that when I interview you again on just helping people. And the benefits and stuff like that.
Sure.
I'll have you talk about that. And, so, that's exciting. Is there anything else?
I'm just grateful I'm very grateful just to have this opportunity to be on your first podcast. I think it's wonderful that you prayed about it, and you're doing some great stuff. I'm just honored to be here with you and Gabe and your daughter and wife and all, and the family. Thanks for having me. I'm really just blessed to be here.
You forgot me, man.
How can I forget you? I'm going to hook up. Gary's down in Sarasota.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to hook up. I just made a new friend today, Gary.
You made another friend.
I made another friend, Gary. We're going to get together down in Sarasota. Absolutely.
I would not have any other people than you guys here for the first one. I've sort of been same thing, thinking about it, praying about it. So. The first one, a lot to, look at and critique and, get it better. But I'm excited, and it was a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun time today to talk, and
thanks, brother.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Call him Brother Jerry. I call him.
Yeah,
Brother
that's
Jerry.
what I call him, Brother John. And, he's and we got Gary and Gabe.
Brother Gary, Brother Gabe.
Yeah. But so thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll send this out.
God bless you.
After Gabe edits some of the stuff and tweaks some of the different things, and some of the curse words, that wasn't too many. And so we'll get this out, and people, if you can, learn something about his brother and anything else about God, then that's what we want to do. So
breaking news.
Yeah,
that's right.
Garcia hit a homer today for the Phillies.
How about that?
Okay. Wow. So we can hit a homer.
Phils.
You can hit.
How many strikeouts did he have?
I know.
At least he got one. So
good for them.
And breaking news, that's sad news, is Turner is only hitting 100 this spring training. That's not good news.
No. But
Can only go up from there, right?
yeah, we'll talk more about that. And I'm trying to. I know Greg Murphy through another his aunt. So they call him Murph. And so I'm trying to get him on and talk a little Phillies maybe before the Phillies go. I'm going to try to get him on, and we'll see. So kind of get people, talking a little bit about the Phillies. I'm always Eagles, but you need to talk about Phillies too, since that's getting ready to go. So, but anyway, thanks so much, and again, we will see you hopefully soon on the next one. And
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap. Yep, first one.